Celebrating 30 years of phenomenal trend forecasting, 5 times a week, Monday through Friday. Here's Gerald Celente with today's trends in the news.
Hi, this is Gerald Celente. It's Friday, January 29th, 2016, and here are some of today's trends in the news. Well, let's start over there in Asia. Everything up, between 2.5% to 3%. In Europe, everything up, well over 2%. And here in the States, Dow up almost 400 points. Let's see why. Oh, and oil? Oil moved up too. Yeah, you remember a couple of weeks ago, it was, West Texas was around 26 and change, and crude over there was around $27 and change. Now, 33 and 34 bucks. Everything has changed. Let's see why. Well, last night, big story right here came out in the New York Times. Japan's Minister for Economic Growth resigns amid scandal. The chief architect of Prime Minister Shinzo Abe's plan to resuscitate Japan, the world's third largest economy, resigned on Thursday after reports by a magazine that he had accepted money from the head of a construction firm in exchange for political favors. Why, how shocking. Yeah, it's like all over the world they do this, right? Big story. Under the Abe's regime over there, this is the fourth guy so far, fourth minister, to resign. And you know why? For misconduct. Yeah, stealing money and bribes is only misconduct. But when you do something wrong, you got to obey the letter of the law. We got misconducts, misdeeds. Look how they let the big frauds off. Oh, but I apologize. Oh, I apologize for getting caught. Oh, I'm sorry. No, I don't mean that. I mean, oh, how ashamed I am. You got any more dough? And they get away with this crap. But that changed like that, man. This story's out of the news. You know why? Abenomics didn't work. That's right, after 2 rounds, let's try negative interest rates. Yay! Steal from the people, give to more monetary meth, man. Hey, remember, go back. Mario Draghi, yeah, I promise you cats at Davos, man. More stimulus? Hey, more stimulus coming around the corner in a different way. Abenomics failed? Let's try more failure. Negative interest rates, and that's what boosted up the market. Yeah. Hey, you Japanese folks, you like Fukushima? Well, you got Fukushima again. That's right. You see your value declining, of your currency value declining, going to cost you to buy more. But obey the government. They know what's best for you. So there you got it. That's it. And they keep coming out with this line that we got to get that 2% inflation rate. Who made this story up? That inflation is good, deflation is bad. That wasn't like that in the old days when everything was level. That's better. Oh, don't you like it when prices go up and you earn less? They're making up this inflation story to rig the markets. Period, paragraph. U.S. stocks closed up more than 2% Friday, the last trading day of January after the Bank of Japan unexpectedly adopted negative interest rate policy for the first time. Negative interest rate policy. Who makes it? A bunch of central bank bandits. It is bankism. Capitalism is dead. No real market discovery, no price discovery, no supply and demand equations. It's all gone. You got a bunch of banksters running the show. Hey, it's one of your top trends for 2015. Last year, Nomi Prinz, that's right, did that great story. So Abenomics failed. Now they're talking about, quote, currency wars. Could you imagine if China did this? Negative interest rates? And now they're devaluing their currency, and they say they're going to export more. And again, they're not going to export that much more because there's a global slowdown. Yes, it will help to some extent. But hey, Japan's our allies. Yeah, remember Pearl Harbor? Oh, you forgot that one. We got to defend them, I told you. Could you imagine if China did this? Oh, they sent out the 6th Fleet. Okay. So now gold prices moved up a little bit. Gold had, good month. Good month. Looking, as everything else went down. By the way, even the Dow is down 5% after all of this big boost. NASDAQ is still down for the month. So, all these currency devaluations go back to your trend alert this past Wednesday. Market madness? Gold prices going up. Why? What's next? History before it happens. We said it would happen, it's happening. More monetary methadone for the money junkies. And the markets also went up on the good news. Of course, yesterday was durable good numbers. The worst numbers since 1992. That's right. Here. Right here. Boom. Wall Street Journal. Durable orders fall by most since recession. The annual decline in durable good orders is the largest outside a recession on record back to 1992. And you're looking at all the cuts. Boeing, one after another. And this shows you how sick the mentality's gotten in this country. I'm not making this up. One silver lining could be that the U.S. is no longer dependent on manufacturing to propel growth. The sector accounts for just 12% of total economic output. In 1997, the first year for which the government has gross domestic product data by industry, manufacturing accounted for 16.1% of the economy. Isn't it wonderful we don't have any manufacturing? It's a silver lining. That's right. Let's really be stupid and believe this stuff. It's a silver lining that we got to buy our stuff from foreign countries. Hey, Bill Clinton, great job you did. Whew. But there it is. Facts don't lie. And what else? Oh, the GDP numbers came out for the last quarter of last year, up a rousing 0.7%. That's another good reason for the Dow to go up almost 400 points. But there is a silver lining. Here it is. The major U.S. averages extended gains after the Chicago PMI showed 55.6 in January, topping expectations of 45.0 print and above December's 42.9 read. So we're on the road to recovery, folks. Yep. It's a rigged game. Caterpillar expects sales to keep falling. Their revenue fell by about a third compared to 4 years ago. And you take a look in the oil field. Baker Hughes tumbles to loss as rigs stop drilling. U.S. Oil Service Group that has agreed to a $2.6 billion takeover bid from its rival Halliburton, another merger, and you're going to see more of these, reported a $1.97 billion loss for 2015. The company has seen a 46% drop in the number of rigs drilling oil and gas wells worldwide since the fourth quarter of 2014, and they see another 30% drop. So now there's talk about Russia and Saudis cutting back on production. But it's only talk. And the more I read about it, there's nothing firm. And Iran's not going to cut back, I don't believe, in production, being that they just lifted sanctions. So again, you look at the facts. If oil prices start going up, the rig count starts going back up. So I don't see oil prices going much higher or lower than they are. And again, I'm not an expert in this field, but my guesstimate is $30 to $40 range. give or take in either direction. Bad loans mar Italian lenders. Shares of Unicredit SPA, once Italy's largest bank by capitalization, have declined more than 40% since late October, plunging 6.5% yesterday. Another good reasons for the markets to go up. The banking sectors are in a bear market. Here's another one. You think Italy's bad? They're not alone. Deutsche Bank. Shares have declined 28% this year. They fell 5.4% yesterday. Cash is fleeing China. Now what? Outflows, they're looking now, the World Bank data saying $700 billion in decline in China's foreign currency reserves. You can see where all this is leading. And it doesn't look good. On to some geopolitical news. U.S. general urges caution in Afghan troop drawdown. Oh, let's be cautious. Let's be cautious. Here's another one. This is from, can't get more mainstream than this, NBC. Taliban control of Afghanistan, highest since U.S. invasion. Highest since U.S. invasion. Afghan war commander nominee says situation is deteriorating. U.S. general caution in Afghan troop drawdown. Let's listen to what President Obama said about the promises of a troop increase. No. He said troops were going to vanish. What this is these are trial balloons getting the people ready, by me reading this, for more troops in Afghanistan. Here, listen.
At the beginning of 2015, we will have approximately 9,800 U.S. service members in different parts of the country, together with our NATO allies and other partners. By the end of 2015, we will have reduced that presence by roughly half, and will have consolidated our troops in Kabul and on Bagram Airfield. 1 year later, by the end of 2016, our military will draw down to a normal embassy presence in Kabul.
Ah, yes. By the end of 2016, just an embassy presence. If you believe that, I got a bridge in Brooklyn for sale that I could give you at a bargain basement price. Let me continue. Front page of Untitled Chapter. More is needed to beat ISIS, military concludes. Oh, yeah, they always got a strategy. Afghanistan, 15 years. Iraq destroyed. Libya destroyed. They always come out with this arrogance. We got a plan, and we're going to shove it to you. Here we go. Pentagon officials have concluded that hundreds more trainers, advisors, and commandos from the United States will be needed to be sent to Iraq and Syria in the coming months as the campaign to isolate the Islamic State intensifies. Oh, we're going to get them. We're going to get them. Yep. The White House believes, military officials have told the White House they believe they have made significant progress in the fight against Islamic State in both Iraq and Syria. But to deal a lasting blow to the extremist Sunni militancy, also known as ISIS, they believe that additional forces will be needed. How many more losing strategies do they have to shove out in front of us? And how can they keep getting away with it? As the murder continues, here we go. Dozens of refugees die in capsizing off Greece. Today's paper. And you know where they're from? Iraq and Afghanistan. What a surprise. You mean they're leaving when their countries are destroyed? Hey, but Obama said Wait a minute. More trainers, advisors, and commandos? That trainers and advisors stuff, you could do with that. Commandos, troops in Iraq and Syria? Hey, wait a minute. This is what the president promised. No boots on the ground. Listen for yourself.
I will not put American boots on the ground in Syria. I will not pursue an open-ended action like Iraq or Afghanistan. I will not pursue a prolonged air campaign like Libya or Kosovo. We will not be sending U.S. troops back into combat in Iraq. As I've said before, these American forces will not have a combat mission. We will not get dragged into another ground war in Iraq.
So what? There are boots on the ground. Oh, in that short airstrike, he was bragging at his State of the Union address that over 10,000 strikes already, and they just keep going on. Yeah, and what else did he say? We won't be sending U.S. troops back into Iraq. Well, I'll just lie about it and say it was a misstep. No, I misspoke. That's it. The president misspoke, and it ended up in a misdeed. Whew, Madon. But don't worry about it. I watched some of that presidential debate last night. It was tough. I couldn't watch the whole thing. Listen to these guys repeating these campaign lines. Vote for one of them. That's right. They have strategies and plans to melt ISIS around the world. This is Gerald Celente, and that's some of today's Trends in the News.